Hi there. I want to discuss the birth chart for Peter Murrell. He's a Sagittarius born 8th of December 1964 and his ascendant is in Pisces. And that's interesting because as a traditional astrologer, I view the ruler of Pisces as Jupiter. And Jupiter is also the planet that rules the sign of Sagittarius. So we've got a bit of a theme going on with Jupiter there. And also, because Jupiter rules the ascendant, it's also the ruler of the entire chart. And the ascendant in a chart shows the birth and almost how we are continually giving birth to ourselves in each moment. Think of a wheel rolling along a path, and at each moment in time there's an infinitely small portion of that wheel that's touching base. So Jupiter tends towards exploration and growth and has the optimism to head out to seek pastures new. But possibly the downside is that it can lead to excess, maybe not quite knowing when enough is enough. And also it can lead to overconfidence and maybe take a few uncalculated risks and can even feel a sense of invincibility. And one thing about Jupiter in this chart is that it is retrograde, which means it appears to be moving backwards across the zodiac with respect to our vantage point on Earth. And if you think about that wheel, we may come up against situations where we need to sort of backtrack and recalculate, maybe take a long way around to get past certain obstacles. And Jupiter is in Taurus in the second house. And a very simplistic surface level interpretation of that brings us somebody that wants to grow in terms of finances, possessions and valuables. It prioritizes security and resources that have a lasting, meaningful value. And with the nature of Jupiter being prone to excess, this could actually mean someone that maybe holds on to possessions, maybe having far more than they would ever need or use. And also with the overconfident nature of Jupiter, we might find someone that's willing to take risks and maybe even gamble. And with Jupiter retrograde, this could indicate something a little bit off the beaten track about the manner of these acquisitions, whether that is the objects that are acquired or the means of acquisition. We might see money coming in, money going out, with gains and losses and back and forward. But something I want to say that's really important about astrology, and that is that there is no chart for a thief, a cheat, a liar, a fraudster, any kind of criminal. The chart shows potential. The chart indicates the possible and might describe the propensity. And each component of the chart can manifest and express in a multitude of different ways, some very positive and some maybe a bit more destructive. It's always up to the free will of the individual, what they choose to focus on and how they respond to these potentials. My most important job as an astrologer is to consider some of these perhaps more challenging or destructive potentials and find a way to manifest and express those in a way that is at least neutral and at best a bit more fruitful and a bit more beneficial. And if I can't do that, then I can't call myself an astrologer. Apparently, Peter will have access to courses such as gardening, cookery and joinery while he's in jail. And I find this really interesting, quite fascinating. Because if somebody came to me with this chart and asked for guidance and direction, those are precisely the types of activities that I would be suggesting. So who knows? Maybe he will thrive. Maybe this will be the making of him. So I hope you found this of interest. Maybe you've learned something about astrology. And I'm going to come back with more on this because we can go a bit deeper. We can look at the planets that are aspecting Jupiter. There's a couple of belters. We've got an opposition to Venus and Neptune. And I am trying to keep this civilized and I don't want to be crass. But if you have got any questions about astrology, feel free to comment and I'll answer anything I can. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and I'll be back with more. Take care. Bye.